Hello and welcome to this wonderful next episode of Good Fat Life. Inspired Good Fat Life, actually. And we have a couple of really exciting things today to talk about. First, we have a new issue. Our new issue of Good Fat Life is out, and it is chock full of fun, inspired, springy things. And just to give you also the back cover, I love this back cover. Every time I look at it, it just makes my heart sing. And so the magazine is just full of all kinds of wonderful things like that. And you can go to goodfatlife.com and see what's up and learn all about it. And we've got some really exciting events happening coming up too, and you can learn about them as well. And the other thing that's exciting is I have on my Good Fat Life t-shirt. It's for our Avocado Advocates, and it's advertising the Walk of Hope, which is coming up that supports infertility, which is a cause that we are really, really passionate about supporting. So that said, I have a very special guest today, and I am going to have her help me with your last name, Sam, because I don't want to mispronounce it.
Very common question. Sam Smigelski. Smigelski.
Smigelski. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you, Smigelski. So is it Polish?
It is Polish.
It is Polish. Okay, got it. My husband's Polish, and so you'd think it would make it easier, but it doesn't. Thank you. But because of him, I learned about pierogies.
Oh, well, that's a good blessing to know.
I never knew what a pierogi was until I met him.
They're delicious.
They are. They are. So it's like, I love your story, right? You have the most amazing story. So why don't you just tell our viewers a little bit about your story and your background, and then we'll get into why what you're doing now, not that what you were doing before isn't important, but why what you're doing now really fits in the sweet spot of Good Fat Life.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay? Background's actually in architecture. I have 3 different degrees and about 18 years experience in various capacities. And there were parts of it that I loved. There were parts of it that I didn't love so much, which included just extreme burnout. I was so tired, and I got laid off at the beginning of COVID, and I got a lot of calls from recruiters and companies asking me to come back, but I got a lot of anxiety from that. And so because of that experience, that anxiety that I was experiencing, I turned to my yoga practice, which I'd found about 12 years prior, and used it as a tool to work through some of the anxieties, to identify where the feelings were coming from, and also to get a good workout in. Through that practice, it grew. I took my yoga teacher training through COVID. I started teaching at home, and then I taught at the studio that I now own. And that just almost fell into my lap in October. The previous owner came to me and offered me an opportunity to see if I was interested to take over ownership. And as of February 1st, I got to take over Spirit Rising Yoga and Meditation. So it's been an adventure, and it was hard making that choice to officially step away from architecture, right. At least for now. You never know what could happen. Right. But it's been really rewarding, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm really happy now that I've done that.
So, I mean, we've talked a little bit about that transition, because it was a huge transition.
It was.
Right? But was there something inside of you, like a little voice that you heard, or a feeling, or something that just said, I can't not do it?
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's a good question, because when I found yoga 12, 13 years ago, I had a calling to it. It helped me transform and grow so much personally that I always thought in the back of my mind, my retirement plan would be to open a yoga studio. Didn't think it would be when I was 35, but it's the way things just happened. And I had to listen to that, that anxiety, that gut feeling in the pit of your stomach that's saying, going back isn't right. And I was very fortunate to be able to listen to that and move towards something that did feel right, and just felt like a good choice for me to make at that point in my life. It felt like the right time, even though it wasn't the plan.
Right. It's never the right time, is it? Yeah. Right. It's just this like I found Good Fat Life. I never woke up one morning and said, "Oh, I want to have a magazine and a health and wellness company." And then when the opportunities kind of presented itself, I couldn't not do it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. I mean, there's days where I'm just going, what the heck am I doing? Right. And it's like, oh, I shouldn't do this anymore. And then it's like, no, you're going to, somebody will call, or I'll get an email or something. I'll see a billboard. Something will happen that is like, no, it's all good. Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Right. So talk about, I mean, one of the things, and full disclosure, I have never enjoyed yoga. I tried it when I was younger, like your age, as a way to get more movement, and it hurt. It was painful, and I hated it. It kind of like, I just can't go do this. And it was a really big deal to take that time out of my cram-packed schedule, and if I wasn't going to enjoy it and look forward to it, I wasn't going to do it.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but what I've learned since then, actually, I love Yoga Nidra. It's like mind candy. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a sleeping yoga. You do it laying out in, corpse pose, and you go through a mind process, and it is incredibly relaxing and blissful. And I like to do it every day. I can't wait. But that's not the movement, right? The movement that our bodies need so much. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I would say even if you've tried yoga and you didn't enjoy it, try it again. Try a different studio, try a different class type. There's a misconception that yoga is just the physical practice, when really that's only one of 8 pieces of what traditional yoga is.
Oh, okay.
So the fact that you enjoyed Yoga Nidra means you still like yoga. You just might not have liked the class that you went to that first time.
Right.
So
and I meditate. I meditate every day.
Meditation is a part of yoga.
Yeah.
So meditation is one of the 8 limbs, as is asana, or the physical practice.
So
you're
talk
still doing
about
yoga.
So yeah. So, but what I've learned as I've been more inquisitive and talked to people and had more experiences, to your point, is that there's lots of different ways, different practices, different instructors, different music.
Absolutely.
And there's yogas that I really do love.
Mm-hmm. And every studio is going to have a different philosophy around yoga and how they think yoga should be taught.
Okay.
So there's differences in studios. You hit it on the head. There's absolutely different teachers. Some teachers are going to teach a very Eastern mindset. You're going to get into the meridian lines, those Eastern modalities, and some are going to be very Westernized and talk about physical alignment through our anatomy as we know it. So there's different ways to practice, but you could also do a chair class if you have trouble getting up and down off the floor. You could do kind of a middle of the road like hatha, where you get a little bit of physical activity. It's going to be challenging, but accessible for all students. And probably a little breath work and meditation in one of those classes. And then you could go all the way up to a vinyasa, which is going to be that hard, challenged cardio level class. So there's different types of practices that can meet different students. And maybe it's the Yoga Nidra, where you just want to lay in Shavasana, that corpse pose on the floor, and get really good quality rest.
So I did do the sunrise salutation. Mm-hmm. So I've done that. I do that every morning, and I've done that for years.
So you're doing yoga every day.
And I do love that, and I've modified and added some things. Yes, and so yes. It's and everything, all the research just shows that we sit too much.
Right.
And I, by nature, can sit forever. I have to set timers to get up because the things I really love to do are sitting, other than walking. I do love to walk, but to find things where you look forward to going, and that move and stretch, and that's amazing.
It is.
Right? That is. And it's a wonderful practice.
It is.
So talk about, tell us about your studio. What makes your studio special? Other than you, of course.
Right. When I first moved to Brighton, it was the first studio that really spoke to me in town. And something about it I just felt a really deep connection with. And I love that our studio has so many unique styles of classes, and that we get breath work and meditation and Yoga Nidra on the schedule. And we get students who are interested in exploring all aspects of yoga. I think that's really neat. We have unique teachers, some that have different types of credentials. Like one of our teachers is certified in the LIT method, which is a type of yoga formulated by a physical therapist. So she's
never heard of that.
It's newer.
Yeah.
And it's really neat because you can get into poses that you would recognize, the warrior 1s or 2s or even forward folds, but do it in a different way. So you're targeting different muscle groups. And it could be a pose you do every day and you leave her class and you're sore from it, whereas other days you wouldn't be. So it's a neat way to explore the body. We also have a class, Poses, Pens, and Inner Peace, for people who like self-exploration. And you do a little bit of the physical practice, a little bit of meditation, and then self-exploration through journaling. And then you can share if you want.
So with Good Fat Life, we're doing a whole year long features around journaling because it's just such a powerful practice, right?
It is, and it's really good for you. One of the pieces of yoga that people don't always realize is a part of it is taking that time to explore yourself.
Okay.
Get into kind of the nooks and crannies of the way you think and process and the way your body moves. And journalism is a great way to get into that. And
Wow.
so
Okay.
we get a pretty good turnout for that class as well. It's a good one.
I bet. Well, one of the things that I love about Yoga Nidra is by going through the process, right? Because you go through your body and you notice and pay attention to it. And I've just fallen in love with my body in a way I never have felt before through the Yoga Nidra, because it's that exploration maybe.
Yeah,
is,
it calls your attention to different areas of the body.
Right.
So you take the time to notice what's happening in the feet,
right.
the ankles,
or
stuff
your
you ignore,
cheek,
your
or
cheeks. Yeah.
And there's even some that go inside. It's like, let's stop on our kidney, our pancreas. I mean, it's like, I don't know that I'm feeling. Well, I think I'm feeling it, right? But it's just paying attention, or the muscles underneath the skin, or the blood flowing through, and it's like, oh my gosh, what a magnificent being we are, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite cues that sometimes comes up in Yoga Nidra or sometimes just in your Shavasana at the end of class is to release the jaw and then release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. You don't realize how much tension you hold in that area of your face. And for me, when I bring my attention there, I just feel my whole body relax.
And it's such a simple thing, but it's so powerful.
It is.
And it's like, oh my gosh, and we have this at our fingertips 24/7.
Right.
And we don't stop. I mean, many as I'll speak for myself, it takes an intention to stop and do the practice. But when I do, it's like, oh my gosh, I just feel so peaceful and grateful for this body.
We talk all the time. The hardest part is just getting to your mat. And then once you're there, you've already done the challenge, right? It's just get there.
It's get there. That's kind of true of everything. But so tell me about, and so you have Ayurvedic influence there as well?
Yes. So Lisa, the previous owner, she is an Ayurvedic consultation health coach.
Okay.
And so she's stayed on. She teaches her classes and does this health coach consultation through the studio still. So you can book with her. Ayurveda is a sister science of yoga. So they work really, really well together. You can, its intention is to be able to balance out the systems in the body.
Through food,
through lifestyle, through all kinds of different things. According to Ayurveda, there's 3 doshas, Pitta, Vata, and Kapha. And each person, each season, each food, everything embodies one or multiple of these doshas. And if you become too dominant in one, you get out of balance. So through this analysis with Lisa, you can work on your lifestyle, your food choices, your sleep patterns, all different types of things. It's going to be different for everyone, and create a better sense of balance in your body so that you ultimately feel better and function better and just enjoy your everyday a little bit better.
Every day. We call that living your good fat life.
Yeah.
You can live your good fat life, right? Mm-hmm. So, well, I love what you're doing, and it's just like every single thing you're talking about and are doing at your studio is like at the heart of good fat life.
That's amazing.
That's what why we're here. And our mission, if you will, is to connect people. So there's people looking for what you offer, and you are offering, and you're looking for people who are looking for you, right? And Absolutely. So we can be that connecting platform, if you will. So one of the things I like to ask after I take a little commercial break to do a shout out for our sponsor is for somebody who is maybe they know they want to move for more, maybe they aren't feeling that great or energetic, but aren't sure, or maybe they don't know where to even start to look for a yoga class or an Ayurvedic class. What would you suggest? And I'm going to take a little commercial break and we'll come back to that. Okay? All right. So one of the big things that we talk about here at Good Fat Life is self-care. And self-care, as we all know, is way deeper, if you will, than surface things. And not that surface things are not amazing. I just had a manicure and I love it. Makes me feel good. But also part of self-care are having services provided that make our day easier. And for me, one of those services is having Snedecor's cleaners pick up my clothes. I put them in a yellow bag and drop them on my porch twice a week. And my clothes come back and they're clean and pressed and they're ready to go. And they actually come back better than when they left because the Snedecor's processes is a clean earth process, and they actually use sand. A sand solution to clean your clothes, which is like, who knew? There's no chemicals. It's healthy. It's safe for the environment, and my clothes love it. And it gives me so much peace of mind to know I don't have to go, what's clean or ready or pressed that I can wear. It's, everything that I want to wear is ready to go. What do I feel like wearing today? So Snedecor's cleaners, they are an integral part of my self-care. So that said, what would you suggest to people that are like, I want to experiment, or I want to know a little more? Where would you start?
I would say everybody should start by checking in with their body. What are they feeling? In order to identify what type of practice they need. Do they need something that's going to push them into a more cardio direction? Or do I need to increase my flexibility? Am I looking to build strength? And first identify what your body needs. And then do some research on the different studios in town. There's a bunch across Livingston County, and everybody's going to have a different vibe. So once you identify what you're looking for, you can it starts to find, you can find that match for you. Right. And almost every studio has some sort of new student introductory offer. I know ours, we have a 30 days unlimited for $30. You can come in, you can try every class for 30 days.
Okay, that's cool.
And then I like this teacher, I like this type of class, or I didn't like this type of class that was too hard or not hard enough, or just didn't provide me what I was looking for, and match up with that self-reflection of what you decided that you needed.
Okay.
I don't know what the other ones are, but I know most studios do have that. And it's a really great way for you to find a good match, so that if you went to one class and didn't enjoy it, you have another opportunity to try another thing and see if it was just that one class or if it was actually yoga. Because I'm a firm believer that yoga's for everybody. You just got to find that unique practice that fits what you're looking for.
So I would agree with you. We went to, one little note, we went to Reykjavik when I told you that my Ayurvedic teacher took us to India 3 years ago, and that's where the birthplace of yoga. And we stayed in an ashram for 3 days, and that's what we did.
That's amazing.
It really was. I have to say it was, but I was glad it was only 3 days. Because it was pretty stark.
It's intense.
It's intense and it's pretty stark. And but the food was amazing. It was all vegetarian, and I was raised on a cow farm, so it was nice to experience delicious vegetarian food.
And it can be really good.
Yeah.
Very nutritious.
Very nutritious. And
experiment.
Exactly. It's like everything. And so I love what you said about, try a beginner welcome. I love that you offer that, because if that can be then fun, it can be an adventure, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Let's explore and see what works for us. And the research keeps saying it's like we have to move more. Mm-hmm. It's the new smoking.
It is. And finding a way that you can move and enjoy it so that you come back to it day after day is really key to staying healthy and keeping that lifestyle change.
Yeah, it is. Well, on that happy note, thank you so much for being here,
you.
Sam. And we will post all of the how to get a hold of you if people want more information on Inspired Good Fat Life, our podcast, and goodfatlife.com, our website. And please check out our new issue and go out and live your good fat life.